would now like to call this Monday, February 4th, 2012, 13 Student Senate meeting to order. Secretary Thompson, please call the roll.
Sharina.
Here.
Patrick Hill.
Here.
JJ Beck.
Here.
Catherine Thompson here. Jim Fellinger.
Here.
Stephanie Long.
Here.
Dave DeBoer.
Here.
Sarah Federa.
Here.
Nicholas Clemens.
Here.
Tucker Little. Tucker. Candace Lopez.
Here.
Rose Kane.
Here.
Erica C.
Here.
Anna Baldessari.
Here.
Alyssa Fox. Oh,
She's not here.
She won't be here. Mariah Johnson.
Here.
Scott Johnson.
Oh, he's.
Aaron Niles. John Price.
Here.
Brett Stewart.
Here.
Mira Bragg.
Here.
Christiana Federini.
Here.
Ben Kaplan.
Here.
Cooper Kearns.
Here.
Ashley Sloboda.
Here.
Michael Harmon.
Here.
Francis Arrigo. Taylor Burry.
Here.
Derek Pinchback.
Here.
Sarah Scott.
Here.
Mark Walt.
Here.
Tiana Wu.
Here.
26 PCG.
Here.
ACM.
Present.
Action Against HIV/AIDS. Active Minds.
Here.
Allies.
Here.
APO.
Here.
Autism. Biosphere.
Here.
BSU. Bomb Squad. Cheers.
Here.
China Culture Club.
Here.
Civil War Club.
Here.
2013.
Here.
2014.
Here.
2015.
Here.
2016.
Here.
Classics Club.
Here.
College Dems.
Here.
College Republicans. College Against Cancer.
Here.
Dance Ensemble. Dance Team.
Here.
Disciple Makers Christian Fellowship.
Here.
Drop the Active.
Here.
Entrepreneurship Club. Film Society.
Here.
Four Scores.
Here.
Freethinker Society.
Here.
Game Club.
Here.
Gettysburg TV.
Here.
Gecko.
Here.
German Club.
Here.
Gettysburg Student Musical Theater.
Here.
Gospel Choir.
Here.
Habitat for Humanity.
Here.
Interfaith Council. International Affairs Association.
Here.
International Club.
Here.
Italian Club.
Here.
Japan Club. Jazz Appreciation Society.
Here.
LASA. Law and Justice Society.
Here.
Lutheran Student Movement.
Here.
NAACP.
Here.
Owl and Nightingale.
Here.
Penny Turtle Farm.
Here.
Pre-Health. Pre-Vet.
Here.
Sarah.
Here.
SASA.
Here.
Shots in the Dark.
Here.
Skeptical Chemists.
Here.
Society of Physics Students. Student Alumni Association.
Here.
Swing Club.
Here.
Upscale.
Here.
Yara. 26 PCG.
Here.
Wait. Sorry. Start over again. Anyways, motion to approve last week's minutes.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Abstentions? Minutes are passed. No old business. New business. Paul Redford and Paul Fairbanks will be.
Thank you. Is it okay if I'm here and I don't use the microphone? Can everybody hear me? Is that all right?
Yep.
Joe says okay. Perfect. My name is Paul Redfern. I'm the Executive Director of Communications and Marketing here at Gettysburg. I'm also a member of the class of 2000. And with me tonight is Paul Fairbanks, who's the Director of Web Communications here at Gettysburg. And thank you so much for having us and letting us have a few minutes of your time. Tonight we want to talk to you a little bit about the work we've been doing with the homepage of the college's website and with the top level of the college's website tonight. And we want to set the context a little bit for you, give a little bit of information about how we came to the design that we're going to show you tonight, and then how we're going to be rolling it out over the course of actually the next week or so. If you have questions as we go through, please feel free to shoot up a hand or shout it out or throw something soft at us to get our attention, and we'll be happy to answer those and have a dialogue back and forth. Everybody doing all right so far? All right, good. This isn't class, right? I'll try to do a little bit. So, quick historical overview. Let's see. None of you were here the last time we redesigned the website, probably. It was in 2006. At that point in higher education, you often did a big redesign of a website and a homepage. You invested a lot of money and then you didn't really touch your website for another 5-7 years, then you did another big redesign of your website, got a new design, and then you would wait another 5 to 7 years and then do that again. And that has changed over the course of the last couple of years. What we're seeing in our industry is that you do a redesign and then you're constantly tweaking things along the way, right? And I see some heads shaking as I say that, right? Because things change so quickly, right? In 2006, I'm not even sure Facebook was, if it was around, it was, you know, very small at the time, right? We weren't even thinking about it when we redesigned the site in 2006. By 2008, 2009, it was a major part of our communication strategy. So you can see here the overview. We've certainly been tweaking the website along the way with tweaks to the home page, academic departments, administrative offices, our alumni and development site, and our news sites all along the way. You're probably familiar with some of those, depending on how long you've been here. You may have seen some of those have been implemented throughout your years. So as we think about 2013 and what web design is like in 2013 and what we need for our homepage to do in this year and beyond, the biggest single challenge that we have, and I see them out there, right? Who's got one in their pockets, right? One of these, right? Almost, probably everybody. I saw an iPad mini, I think, in the back row somewhere too, right? And I've got one here, okay? So people are viewing Gettysburg.edu on everything from as big as that screen to as small as a phone and everything in between. And that's the challenge we had in 2013 and beyond, is how do we create a website and web presence that's going to allow us to communicate about Gettysburg to people on screens this wide to screens that are the size of the screen up there. That's a real challenge for us. That's a challenge for technology. A little bit of the data for you to see as we're thinking about this. There are, in any given month, 1,000 different screen sizes that view Gettysburg.edu. That's a lot of screen sizes to have to worry about. When we redesigned the website in 2006, we pretty much knew almost everyone was on a screen that was yay so big. Now we've got 1,000 different screen sizes to think about. We had close to 1.2 million unique visitors to Gettysburg.edu last year. That's a 10% increase from the year before and a 42% increase from that first year after we did that other redesign in 06, 07. So every year we're seeing more and more people interacting with Gettysburg College via the web. And really the eye-opening piece, maybe not for this group as much, but when Paul and I were with some of our trustees on Friday, one of the eye-opening pieces, I think, for them was the amount of traffic that Gettysburg.edu sees from mobile devices. Mobile devices are mobile phones and tablets together, has gone from less than 1% of the overall traffic to a little bit over 10% in the first 6 months of this year. So we're clearly seeing these trends, and we know that as we think about the design of Gettysburg's website, we need to understand that we're going to be all sorts of screen sizes, all sorts of shapes and sizes of people viewing the web. Paul's going to take you through a little bit of the process that we've gone through, and then show you the new design. And then if there's feedback or questions or comments, we're happy to listen.
All right. So I've been here for just over 4.5 years, and I get to look at our homepage every day, many times a day. And after a while, you get tired of it, right? So I've been thinking about what are we going to do differently? How are we going to change it, make it fresh, bold, and exciting? Well, there's this thing going on in our world of the web in general, but specifically in higher ed, called responsive web design. And what that means is no matter what size screen you're looking at, your page will format to it, so you don't lose any content. It just pushes it around and makes it look a little differently depending if you're on a phone, a tablet, or a desktop. Now, all of you have probably go to the current student page once in a while. You may have noticed some changes there. That page is responsive and does format, hopefully, appropriately no matter what screen you're looking at. A lot of other folks are doing this. University of Chicago, Notre Dame. If you ever visited Notre Dame's site, they're known for having the longest homepage in the higher ed world. It scrolls really far. Delaware Valley is another school that has a very sharp, responsive design. And we also want to think about the content strategy. So like Paul said, we have 1 million visitors a year. What do we want them to see when they get to our pages? And so we're thinking about all the changes going on, people like shorter articles, lots of pictures, increased visual appeal. Maybe you've heard of Instagram or Pinterest, a lot of visual aspects to those two, social media. So we're thinking about responsive design, thinking about being bold in our approach. We're not really worried about vertical scrolling, but we don't want horizontal scrolling. Horizontal scrolling is a little bit disorienting when you're looking through a web page. And we also want to think about how do we elevate events that are going on campus, highlight our distinctive programs, highlight our social media. We've been involved in social media for quite a few years, and I'd like to think we do it pretty well. If you don't follow us on Twitter and Facebook, check it out. Admissions obviously critical, and you may or may not have heard we're in the early phases of a capital campaign, so we want to make sure that we're doing for that. So, just to so this is the current page that we all know and love, right? In the next iteration, that will be the homepage starting on Monday, will be much different, not a lot different. The biggest change for all of you is that to get to all the places that you know and love, you're going to have to go up here to the top right. You're now referred to as students, not current students. And directory and other resources there. The search box, now top right. On this screen, you'll notice that you don't see the news and events, but they're right there below the major slideshow. The top navigation has changed very little. We've reformatted our 4 main news stories a little bit, where we got to headline and take you straight to the story, and we're also pulling in what we call our featured events. If you've ever scheduled an event using the 25 Live system, you know how that works. We have someone in our office that looks for events to feature, and this is feeding dynamically from 25 Live. Down here we have our distinctive programs. In this particular load, it loaded popular on Instagram. This is a photo we took. It was a little windy the other day, so we went out and took a photo on the field. It was very popular on Instagram, so we put it here. And we also have a brand. Perhaps you've heard of Do Great Work. And so, depending on which time you load the page, you'll either see something that features do, which is what students do, great, which, if I refresh the page, I can refresh my memory of what great is. There's the work that makes a difference. And let's see if we can get the great. And I can play the IT. There's the great, what makes Gettysburg great. So those 3 features of the Do Great Work brand, trying to bring them to the front of the page. And then we have a little section by the numbers. These also change on refresh, trying to highlight some of the key components of things you'll find in Gettysburg. Let's see what different ones we get to load down here. Our varsity sports, our Centennial Conference championships. Our beautiful 200-acre campus, etc. And our social media icons, and then what we're calling our global footer. So once all the pages on our site have been touched, every page will have this in the footer. And what you'll find on every page of the site then is a link to all your audience pages, including students, links to all the some of the most trafficked pages on the site, and also links to all of the tools that we use, email, Google, email, student library, post.
I know you guys will be really disappointed if that's on the homepage now.
Right. So you guys scroll all the way to the bottom to get there, but I think you can handle it. Some of the top level pages, this is our current about page. This is where we're headed. Academics. So on this page, academics has been a bit of a challenge for us. We have lots of text here that we want prospective students to read. Not quite sure they always do. We have a lot of great academic department pages that we want students to get to, so we're going to move to something that takes them straight to the listing, and then straight from the listings, we go straight to the department pages. You'll notice that not every department has a landing page, not every major has a landing page for a department, so this would take you to the program information about that major. And you'll see already student life and facts and figures have made the transition. Today we spent some quality time this afternoon, what we call re-templating all the pages. So student life and facts and figures are the first 2. In the next few days, we'll cover all this top navigation, and then next Monday, our plan is to launch the new landing page. So all the top level pages will be new templates. So this is just a quick summary of how we're letting everybody know about it. Hopefully you'll see students in it. What was on that list? What wasn't? part of the process.
Look at me like I'm tall.
Anyway, promise one version of this. Next few days, you'll see some campus announcements in the digest and on the website about this, just letting people know so that there's not this huge shock when they have to go from down here to find the audience links to up here to find the audience links. But I think we're all clever enough that a few days, a few weeks on this, we'll be able to adapt. The current student landing page is a bit of a transition for y'all, but I think you've all hopefully managed to move from an email here to email over here. And what else are we going to do? We're going to let the off-campus audiences have a little announcement for alumni. And
we certainly, Paul and I have spent quite a bit of time coming around to groups just like this, leadership groups on campus, and talking with them, giving this is the very same presentation, and Joe Miller was in the conversation with the trustees the other day. I don't think the presentation changed at all from Friday. So just giving the same presentation, talking about the same things, giving the same historical overview, and really listening to feedback that people might have about it as we move forward. And this group was really important for us to come and talk to as well tonight.
right, and to sort of explain the method to our madness, we're not doing it just because we want to have a change. We're doing it for a particular reason, in this case, making sure that our webpage looks good on all the devices that we're seeing flood the market. So quick timeline. It's been in development for a little bit longer than a semester, but last semester I really put a lot of work into it. January started going through an approval process with President Raves and some other folks on campus, and looking to launch, like we said, next Monday.
So hopefully we didn't take up too much time tonight, and we're happy if anyone has questions, comments, emotional outbursts. We'll take any and all of those.
I realized as I went through this too quickly that if you haven't seen what responsive means, you can shrink the size of your browser window to see what happens to the page as you go to it.
That right here.
I know, I was like, I'm missing something. Where's the applause? Where's the... So this is what happens when you shrink the page to as narrow as, say, maybe an iPhone 5. You got a tablet, it'll be formatted a little differently. If this is the kind of thing that gets you excited, there's a site called Response Invader that you can type in any URL and see what it looks like on about a dozen different mobile devices. If we had a little more time, I could regale you with responsive design skills as long as you want. Which is why one thing I put this email address on here in case you want to contact. I am not the webmaster. There is no webmaster at Gettysburg, but there are plenty of people that are on this alias that will see it. So if you have any comments, questions, feedback, perhaps you're using Internet Explorer 6 and it looks like crap, you can tell me. I know that already, but you can tell me. Because if you're using Internet Explorer 6, you're way behind. So Internet Explorer 10 is out now. Catch up. If you're using Firefox and Chrome, those two browsers update automatically, and so you shouldn't have a problem. If you are using Internet Explorer 6, please change. Right. So yeah, I've been here 4.5 years. I've been waging a battle against Internet Explorer, but it still holds on. So going just quickly to this page, since you can put a name with a face, you may have seen one of the new things on this page is this slideshow. So if you have an event or some sort of thing that you want to promote, you can send your graphics to me or the webmaster. Webmaster is probably easier to remember than P. Fairbairn, because I don't have the last two letters of my name up there. But P. Fairbairn or webmaster will work. 600 pixels by 250 pixels is the ideal size. If you don't hit that, I can adapt accordingly in Photoshop. But you can see the three that are up there now. Hopefully you've seen some others. For the news and information, that goes to Beth in the Beth Matter in the college life. You have some stuff in the news and information section. And if you think that I'm missing a useful link, you can send that in too. We have some space here that I can fill it in. I know from the analytics that none of you use these links on the bottom. Well, a few of you do, but we didn't want to take them away for the few of you that do use them. So. We have Google Analytics running on the whole site, so I can go in right now and show you how many people are on our site right this second. It's pretty cool if that's the kind of thing you get excited about. So if you like responsive design, Google Analytics, all that stuff, let me know, Webmaster, we can have some coffee sometime. Any questions? Yes?
So this is the final design, correct? Pretty much.
Final is an interesting word, yeah.
I mean by layout.
Yeah. Unless you have something that knocks their socks off and we didn't think of.
What are the advantages to having things on the main page like the great work showed us. There was a running.
Right. Oh, you mean the slideshow?
Slideshow, yes.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. I don't know if there's a distinct advantage one way or the other. I do know recently that someone did some research on who looks at the slides beyond the first one. I can tell you that viewership beyond the first slide is like going off a cliff. I don't know how many of you click through all the slides on the homepage as it currently stands, but we know from the analytic numbers that it goes down pretty severely. So we saw that as a place to sort of highlight great content that already exists. Putting it as a slideshow is something to think about. I wouldn't discount it wholeheartedly, but I don't think we would see a great increase in the slides beyond the first one. But yeah, it's interesting.
I think we, on the homepage too, we already have a slideshow up top, so to add another slideshow that's similar,
Yeah.
You know, might get a little confusing.
Did you guys change the word mark show? And is it the top of Gettysburg College is on one line?
Yeah, that is not the word mark at the top of the page. We went back and forth with that, the way it fit design-wise. We weren't really comfortable with the word mark there, so. Yeah, the word mark is on the bottom of the page.
Oh, okay.
Over here. Yeah.
Have you guys received any technical problems or complaints? And if not, are you guys expecting them in the next few days once you launch the website?
Technical side, we've done our best we can to test on different browsers, using different tools that we have, and there are some folks in IT that I work with to make sure that we don't encounter those. If you happen to be someone who hates JavaScript and is not running JavaScript on your pages, you'll probably run into some problems on this page. We'd like it to degrade gracefully, but I'm not 100% sure that it will. Yeah.
I think too, in my experience with when you're launching new sites and doing, and you're working in new technology, you're always going to run into something when you launch a site live. I have never launched something and had it been 100%, and nobody had any issue at all. So you're always kind of expecting at some level that we'll have to fix something along the way. How close you can get it to 100% is always the case.
And if you can tell, if you and your friends don't use Internet Explorer, the chances for problems go down significantly.
Does that answer your question?
I think I'm joking or not.
That was actually going to be my question. It doesn't really have to do much with the website, but are you fighting a battle to get rid of Internet Explorer?
Every day. Yeah, the problem on campus is, well, how much time do we have? The problem on campus is some of the legacy systems, such as our beloved CNAV, prefer Internet Explorer. But what we found is that Moodle and some of the newer systems like 25 Live prefer Firefox and Chrome. In the first few months I was here, I actually got a bit of a reprimand when I suggested that some people try out Chrome, not realizing that it wasn't a supported browser on campus. So I love Chrome. I love most things Google, but that's because of the work I do. And thanks, I appreciate that. I do try. Yeah, so we're open for feedback. We do our best, you know, I mean, there's things that obviously we think about differently than you all do. You're closer to our target age as far as prospective students go, so, yeah.
Any other questions, comments?
Is there a possibility of a CNAV update in itself?
I would leave that. That's really not necessarily a question for us. That would be for the IPs.
However, if you were a betting person, you may not want to take deep bets on CNAV update. I didn't say that. But. Now, what this also means, if you love our mobile page as it currently stands, that will go away in a sense that it won't. When you hit this page from a phone, you won't get redirected there automatically. And so, if you love this page, you can still get there by just putting an N after the EDU. It has a little different, you know, look and feel, but it does get you to where you want to go maybe a little quicker. And here's a little secret that I'm going to leave you with, in case you didn't know about. If you type the word Outlook after the web address, it takes you right to.
Oh yeah.
The reason that that's a secret is that we feel like the current student landing page has lots of good stuff that you should be looking at. And so if we give you shortcuts like that, then you might miss news and information or a slide or events or things like that. So.
But that's your vote for you only for attending the meeting. Anything else before we move on?
So the little advertising slideshow, do we email something to like webmaster?
Yep, or me. Ideally 600 by 250. Pixels, that is.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, so forgot officer report, so we're gonna go back and do that real quick. My report was that the event of the week for this, or the past week, is Jazz Appreciation Society's opening night, so congratulations on that. GLC would like to announce that their applications to apply to be a leadership mentor are now open. The application is available through the GLC website on the current students page, and it's due February 15th. They said they were looking for rising sophomores and juniors, but they are keeping it open to all grades. And yeah, there's probably a contact information. Joe Evans is the one in charge of it, but I'm sure you can email anyone else if you have any questions about that. Please encourage your friends to pick up the USA Today copies in the cup or outside under the bullet patio. It's now by that cat board inside the main lobby. But yeah, just keep encouraging. We will be handing some papers out at our outreach, but we just want to make sure the program's going well. And I don't see Tim, but he did attend the Borough Council meeting last week, so I wanted to thank him for that.
Tim's not here.
So I sent a list to all the Senate chairs for the committees on all the new or returning senators on what committee they're now on. So if you didn't get that email, just let me know. I also have to give Jim the books that the parliamentarian requires. So that's all I have.
Well, we're still doing prelim meetings, and hopefully tomorrow will be the last day, God willing. So right now we're standing at about $48,000 left. So you know, we still got some cash flow. So if you got good ideas, I'm willing to fund those. But apart from that, if you're having, I received a lot of emails about how people were having issues with the Send Club's alias, because that's how I communicate with most of you about how the hearings are going on and where they're going on, and the link to the Google Doc. So if you're having issues with those, I know I've been telling you guys to contact Steph Lawn, but you can email Catherine Thompson instead about that, and she will take care of the alias problems, and hopefully we can avoid those kinds of things in the future. So that's it for me.
Catherine.
So yeah, like JJ just said, if clubs have changed leadership or anything, or you're having problems with the alias, please let me know. And we're having a PR meeting either Thursday of this week or next week. So that's on the horizon, and getting more Senate outreach or like transparency things going through PR.
Thank you. Jim.
Hey guys, Pat just gave me these books. I'm really excited about that. Gonna get to spend some time with them over the next few days. Also, any senators that do not have a committee yet, if you are interested in joining Qualcomm, please let me know. Thanks guys.
Thank you. Steph.
Okay, so the semester reports went out today. I sent everyone on the Sen Club's alias the email. So like JJ said though, we've had a few problems with the alias, so if your club hasn't received the information yet, then just contact Catherine and she'll be able to make sure that you get on the alias. And then also, it was my first time using the Google Doc form thing, and I didn't know how to send an actual like text body with the email. So I don't know the club names when you send reports in. A few of the reports have already come in. So if you could just tell me in the email that you send back with the form attached, what club you represent, that would be nice. And then in other announcements, I know that tomorrow there's a internship, like the internship fair thing that's going on this Thursday. There's something in here tomorrow that's prep for, and I just learned about that, so I'm going to tell you. But it starts at 11:30, I believe, and it'll just be held with like resumes and interview stuff. So that's it. Thank you.
Yeah. So the Slavic Club will be coming to provisional status. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Anastasia Gancho, and we are here to tell you about starting Slavic Club here at Gettysburg College. As individuals who have experienced Slavic culture firsthand, we thought that starting this club would be the best way to share culture with the rest of the community, and just to tell you how it is and what it is. And there is a variety of activities that we will be able to hold as a club. We're thinking about doing regular movie screenings, music
have for fundraising in addition to any support you might receive from Student Senate?
For fundraising ideas, we could have, like the holiday celebrations, we might hope we would try to make it as fundraising events as well. And have people, students contribute some kind of.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Congratulations. So we're coming back with class officer report, so 2013.
Our 100 Days party is on Saturday. It's host provider, starts at 5. We'll have wings. And also we have some leftover blankets. If anyone wants any, contact Katie Stauffer, our president.
Thanks, Nick. 2014.
Aye.
Sorry.
So I sent another email to the junior class today, just kind of following up on the blankets. For people that return from abroad, if they still want to buy a blanket, they still can. They're still kind of back-ordered. I only have 5 left right now in the Senate office. Thanks, guys, for buying all those up. So now I have to buy like another round of 30 before I can ship them to everyone else that I ordered them after the last week of finals from last semester. Also, I also found out for all the other people that have access to your grades alias, you need to have your advisor approve the email before you can send it. Apparently they passed something 2 weeks ago. I didn't know about it. So just letting you all know. And I recommend not using computers in the bottom of the library to send your emails, because if they freeze, they might still send, which happened to me earlier today as well. So just letting you know that as well. And we're also trying to plan an open mic for sometime around March. We're not really sure because spring break really sort of disrupts that month, but we're trying to work out the details on that as well.
Thank you, Pat.
The class of 2015 has been working on our fundraiser for this year. So in the next few weeks, you guys will see advertisements for what we will be selling. And I don't want to give it away yet because we're not completely finished with it yet. But it's going to be really cool, so keep your eyes open for that.
Thank you. Tiana.
Not much happening for the class of 2016 this week. We had a very successful Twilight Walk from the scarves that we're going to look.
Thank you. Alright, so just a little bit about outreach. It is officially scheduled, our first one, for the semester this Thursday night from 7 to 9. It will be in the first floor of the library, and we will be having some fun snacks. And so Exec will be there in and out for those 2 hours, but if Senders could definitely stop by, and if club reps want to come by, you can too. But yeah, just to let everyone know, and also just everyone, if they could let their friends know, things like that, to stop by. It's pretty hard to miss if you're walking into the library, but if they're not and want to stop by for some cookies or tea or anything like that, we'll be there. So, any questions about that at all? Thank you. Committee reports. Class.
No report.
Student safety is not here. IT.
No report.
Special events.
No report.
BNC.
No report.
Qualcomm.
No report.
PR.
No report.
Did I miss?
Week.
Did I miss academic affairs?
No report.
Okay, perfect. Any club reports or announcements?
Yeah. Farmhouse is having an open house on Thursday evening, 5 to 7, and a potluck open to everybody on Friday evening, 5 to 7.
Thank you. Yeah.
Orientation leader applications are available now. They can be found on the current students homepage, and they're due February 18th. If you have any questions about it, you can email orientation@gettysburg.edu. Thank you.
Back there, sorry.
Alpha Phi Omega is in the middle of a blood drive, so if you have free time tomorrow from 12 to 6, stop by, give blood, save 3 lives.
Thank you. Any other report? Ryan.
Gecko and Sustainability has been organizing for going to the big DC climate change protest. So if anyone's interested, especially if you're a certified driver, let anybody, Steph, Alex, Addison, or I know.
Thank you. Anything else? Oh, I have a really quick one before, sorry. Applications for tour guides for either the summer or for next school year are on Gettysburg Works. We're doing it differently this year, so if anyone's interested in that, go on Gettysburg Works. If you're interested in volunteering for an open house in no, actually they're both in April. Try to go on the Facebook group Want to be a Gettysburg College tour guide, I think it's called, or have me or someone else invite you that you know is a tour guide. Thank you. And Dave has one more.
Real quick, sorry guys. The new Honor Commission application is out for spring members. If you are interested or know anyone interested, go to gettysburg.edu/honor code and fill out the application, and we'll pick those in the next couple of weeks.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
All those in favor?